we're hiring into those spaces. So 352 cuts is 0.8% of the workforce. Incredibly small.
Will there be future rounds of cuts?
There could be. I'm not sure at the FAA, but I think across government.
Could be, not sure. Hi everybody, it's 5 o'clock in New York. The Trump administration will swear up and down. Everything is fine, there's nothing to see here. But ask the people who actually are responsible for the work of keeping our planes in the air safely. Well, a number of them now suggest that flying may actually be less safe today than it was even 1 week ago. A Rolling Stone source called it a pointless bloodbath, what Donald Trump and Elon Musk did to the Federal Aviation Administration. Hundreds of people fired amid a staffing crisis mere weeks after the nation's deadliest aviation disaster since the year 2001, when an American Airlines passenger plane and an Army helicopter collided near DC's Reagan National Airport. You just saw that individual. He's the Transportation Secretary. His name's Sean Duffy, and he insisted in that interview that none of the nearly 400 people who've been purged from the FAA were critical safety personnel. Elon Musk says the same thing, but a brand new investigation from Politico suggests that the firings did indeed include employees who play important roles in the safety of air travel. Quote, more than 130 of the eliminated workers held jobs that directly or indirectly support the air traffic controllers, facilities, and technologies that the FAA uses to keep planes and their passengers safe. That's according to the union that represents them, the Professional Aviation Safety Specialists. That alone creates reason for concern about the impact of the cuts, people familiar with the termination said, even if the initial firing spared the air traffic controllers themselves. But beyond the question of how safe we are, is a question of how safe people feel. Polling conducted earlier this month registered a slight, albeit detectable dip in confidence among Americans, a 7% decline year over year in adults calling plane travel safe, and a related 8% bump in people calling it, quote, unsafe. We should note the context. The poll was conducted after the awful plane helicopter collision in DC when 67 people died. But it was conducted before the dramatic rough landing and rolling over of a Minneapolis to Toronto flight we covered during these hours last week. And yet firings at the FAA, a shock to confidence in air travel, which will affect everything. But at least they took care of DEI. That's where we start this hour, some of our favorite experts and friends. Former FAA and NTSB investigator Jeff Gazzetti's here. Also joining us, Politico aviation reporter Oriana Pollock. She's bylined on the reporting we read from. And with me at the table, professor at Columbia University, Democratic strategist Basil Smichael's here. Oriana, take me through the reporting.
Yeah, so what we know right now is that these folks who have been let go, who are on a probationary status, these were people who were in miscellaneous jobs that were essentially still the backbone of air traffic controllers and the information that they receive daily. We see people who do charting. They create maps for pilots that they have to read every single day as they transit these skies. And, letting these people go ultimately still has ripple effects on how air traffic controllers do their job. So just because the title safety isn't in, their job description, they still play a role in the overall safety of air travel at the end of the day.
Let me read from the reporting that gets at this. One of the people let go last week worked as an aeronautical information specialist, a member of a team of 12 just outside of Washington, whose job is to create air maps or highways in the sky, the pre-planned routes that pilots and controllers use to guide airplanes. Quote, air traffic controllers cannot do their work without us, the former employee said in an interview Wednesday. The employee, who spoke anonymously to discuss the recent firing candidly, said they believe the administration did not understand how essential these jobs are for safety, but that instead the workers were, quote, targeted just as a senseless line item on an Excel sheet. Quote, to put it frankly, without our team, pilots would quite literally be flying blind, the former employee said.